Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Move with Momentum podcast. Bruce Breedlove here with Jon Brooks once again. We had a class last Friday that in person, we felt the energy, right? We haven't been able to because of COVID. We had a lot of our agent partners who had never met before get in the same room and share. And the topic happened to be on listings and success with listings. And based on the market, that's hugely important right now. But getting in that room, feeling the energy, there was people outside the brokerage that were able to come. I have to tell you that experiencing that once again was awesome. And some of the conversations I heard afterwards were just like mind blown. We've never talked about this before. People leaving that room re-energized in their business, right? So, we've visited this before. Let's have a conversation about who you surround yourself with in your business and how that translates to success going forward.
Absolutely. Well, I love this conversation, Bruce. And what's so cool about the conversations that we have is that they're so high level. And like you mentioned, a lot of the agents come away with a lot of energy and ideas and simplification. So a lot of agents or leaders tend to add complexity to the real estate business or business in general. Leaders simplify. And what we've decided at Momentum is really to present a story backed by data with our agents and help them identify what part of the market do they want to be in today's market in one of the hottest states, one of the hottest cities for real estate in the country. It's super exciting for them. They realize that the opportunity for them to grow their business is bigger than ever. And the level of conversation, the agents walking away are just blown away. They're saying, and I ask them, do you have this conversation at your brokerage? And they're like, not even close. There's not even a thought of any of this going on. And so my challenge to the people listening to this is like, who are you getting around who's going to make you think differently, who's going to help you think bigger, that's going to provide a perspective backed by true relevant data that's going to change the game for you? Because if you're not adapting and you're doing the same exact things that you are today, that you were doing pre-COVID, you have not adapted to the market. The market has changed, and what you choose to do and what you don't choose to do will make the difference between you having success in the new market moving forward and the new reality that we live in.
So the simplification of the ideas, I saw the light bulbs going off around the room. It was evident. I mean, I could feel it. So going back to what you said about complexity, because I have heard that is that there's a lot of talk at brokerages. There's a lot of talk at other companies. Why do leaders make things more complex? Why is it there's just so many words but no substance? Why is that?
They maybe have not had success themselves. I mean, look, all the wealthy individuals that I know simplify everything down to it's like, what CRM do you use? Who cares? Like, do you follow up with people is what matters. Who cares what CRM, like this versus that? Okay, technology sends out an email. Emails aren't going to convert people. What's going to convert people are conversations and relationships. So it doesn't really matter the system that you use or how it just matters that you do it and that you're efficient in the way that you do it.
Yeah. So the simplification in that instance, and that's a really good example is, what email system do you use? What CRM? And you boil it down to like, how are you following up? That's it. Like, and let's have a conversation about how to follow up correctly using whatever tool.
Yeah. Or like the conversation right now should be around months inventory. And so this is a little nugget for those of you listening that haven't been in the inventory conversation. If you're in inventory between 100,000 to 300,000 price range, your inventory is around 1 month supply of inventory for housing. A balanced market is 6 months. Well, as you get up the price range spectrum, you really don't get to a 6 month supply of inventory until you're in the luxury range. So right now, the data tells us that the worst place to be is a buyer agent between 0 to 300,000. It's the worst place to be because you could have 100 buyers, but no homes to sell them. That's not a good business to be in right now. The good business to be in is the luxury seller marketplace because luxury homes are actually selling. They used to have 12-month supply of inventory. Now they're less than 6. Mm-hmm. And you get paid on price point. So your price point determines your profitability. By the way, this conversation is not a conversation that any other brokerage that I heard of is having. And what you choose to focus on in this market, now that it has changed, will determine your success 100%. When the market changes, you study the data, you study the market, and you realize, what actions do I need to take to move the needle forward? It's not, oh, I'm going to use this CRM versus that CRM, or I got business cards, you didn't get business cards. I got stock, you didn't get stock. This is all about, what are you going to do to make that next sale and provide that consumer with an excellent experience so you can get repeat referral business off of them. And that is the only conversation that matters. And we just really focus into, if you didn't set a listing appointment today, you're not getting paid. You are not getting paid in 60, 90 days out. The only thing that matters for you as a real estate agent is setting a listing appointment. There's literally no other variable that matters.
Yeah. So this reminds me, we just had an agent who brought up a story in our private group about how he made a listing happen. You want to share that really quick, and just how powerful that one example is of innovating in a market that makes it so you have to innovate to be successful?
Yeah. I mean, look, guys, we've been riding the wave for 6, 7, 8 years, buying online leads, pressing the easy button. Now they've gotten so expensive that the likelihood of you netting profit on it is pretty slow. It's just going to warp speed your database. But if you're working with a lot of buyers right now and there's no inventory, it's a simple technique. It's called circle dialing. You pick a neighborhood and you call that neighborhood and you say, I have a buyer who's looking in your neighborhood. Who do you know who's looking to sell in the next 30 days? It's as simple as that. The data is really easy to get. We have the data at Momentum, by the way. So if you don't have the data, we can help you get it. We can give it to you and we can make the dials and we can show you, we can script you up to that point. It's not complicated. So one of our agents just did it and they got a house for their buyer and they're getting both sides of the deal because they made the calls, they made the effort. Instead of doing the low skilled buyer agent activity, which is just availability, they went and built their skill and put effort in and got a massive result. And I think he only made like 15 dials or something like that.
It was 7. He made 7 dials.
7 dials.
On the
market is there. The agents are just like this. Their brokers have stuck their heads in the ground. They're not realizing what's going on. They're not telling anybody to change. Everything's good. It's great. Rainbows and butterflies. The market has changed. And so, if we didn't have that conversation at that training, he might have not made those calls because he got very serious about, okay, I have to do in a market where we have never experienced this level of inventory. You're going to have to be a level of aggressiveness that matches the market, a level of intensity that matches the market. And he's doing it now by being proactive and going out there and making stuff happen rather than waiting for stuff to happen, which is what most agents are doing right now at these other brokerages. They need to wake up because now is the time for you to net as much money as possible and grow your organization. And a lot of people are just sitting back because the wave is still riding. It's a great market to be in. We have a lot of people relocating here from high cost, high tax states, and they have money and they're coming in and people are grabbing onto them. But if you have 100 of those people, you don't have any inventory, you're out of luck. You got to make your own luck and make it happen.
Yeah. I want to go slightly different here. Rather than talk specifically about what the interest rates are or whatever, because that's not content that will be useful going forward. But we've talked about the condition of the market, what's going on right now and how you have to pivot as an agent. But what do you see in the future, the next 6 months or a year with the economics and what's going on right now, the direction the housing market's going to go? Because we hear people saying, buyers specifically come in and saying, oh, I'm just going to wait. The market's going to go down. It'll deflate, blah, blah, blah. Generalize out to Florida, generalize into our entire market and say where the economics are going and what insights you have to that.
Yeah. So we are still behind in building new construction, 4 million homes since the Great Recession. Florida specifically, look, this isn't going to be the story everywhere. Okay. Florida is very different. Texas is very different, but there's people relocating. It's called population growth. Population growth is one of the biggest things for household formation, jobs, family formation, all of those things going to impact. But there's people relocating New Jersey, New York, California. They're relocating to Texas or Jacksonville. Jacksonville specifically is great because it's still $100,000 to $200,000 less than Tampa and Orlando for the exact same product, and is a coastal city, which is freaking awesome. So people are realizing, hey, it's cheaper. I don't have to pay as much in taxes. They're coming and getting second homes. They're just buying a home so they can get the tax benefits from it in terms of a state tax perspective. This market's not going to change. Even if interest rates go up, we're so far behind. I mean, builders are even auctioning off lots. They're getting rations on lots, basically lot rationing. They're not able to find land to build new communities. And there's still people pouring in here. And the expectation is that more and more people will be moving to Florida over the next 3 to 5 years. This is an environment that's going to stay for a really long time. Even if we see a nationwide recession or we see interest rates rise, this market will continue to be hot. And let's say that we do start to see some price movement in the other direction. Now there's hedge funds out there. This didn't exist before. That'll go up and gobble up rentals, properties for rentals, and take that inventory off the market. And so there's a backstop where they say, hey, the cash flow makes sense on this rental. I'm going to buy it. And they buy it for their portfolio. So again, I just don't see this asset class being under attack in like Northeast Florida specifically anytime soon. If you wait as a buyer right now, basically you're just going to be paying a higher interest rate and a higher price. It's a supply demand game, and the demand is going to, the demand pedals down and the supply is trying to keep up and can't. Like think about lumber prices, think about labor, all this thing. Prices are just going to continue to go up. I really don't think that our market's going to be able to figure out how to get balanced in 1 or 2 months, or 1 or 2 years. I just don't see it happening, honestly.
We've talked about, maybe other areas in the real estate business as far as other brokerages. We don't like to crap on anyone. We don't like to talk bad about anyone, but we've seen agents coming over saying like, I've never talked about this before. So we know it happens, right? So we've talked about getting new ideas, simplifying things, and we talked about the direction of the market. What if you're a real estate agent right now, what are you going to do? You've shared this inside of our group, but share what you would do right now to remain competitive and stay competitive going forward.
I would focus mostly everyone's focused around $350,000, $200,000 for buyers, because they never actually sat down and built themselves a business plan and had a target market or an ideal customer. Right now, the market is telling everybody to focus on $500,000 plus, because again, if you have 100 buyers under 350, it doesn't mean you're going to get compensated as a real estate agent. I know some of us have great relationships in the community, great this, great that. It doesn't mean that you're going to get paid. I think the market's going to get tougher moving forward. I think it's going to get more competitive. You have to move to where the game is. And I think the game is, it's never been easier to be a luxury agent in this market. There's never been a greater opportunity in this market to be a luxury agent. I think the time is now, if you haven't focused on that, to start focusing on that. And guess what? We've done it ourselves. So we're not talking about being a luxury agent from a standpoint of, I've never sold a multi-million-dollar property. We've sold several multi-million-dollar properties. We've broken records in terms of time. We've sold homes that failed to expire 3 times and, in like a week and things like that. So we know what it takes. Your brand doesn't matter at all. It's about you and what you do. And I'm going to say that true. Like we're going to create a Momentum luxury brand as well, because we realize that is where the game is. The only difference between an agent who nets a lot of profit and an agent that doesn't is the price range that they work in. You can either sell twice the number of units, or you can sell homes that are twice the price. Which one's easier?
Yes, this is half amount of work for the same profit to sell 1 million versus 500,000. So the luxury conversation is interesting to me because, again, being industry outsider, I've heard the objection come up saying, well, I'm luxury certified. What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything, Bruce. It's just a label so the franchises can make money. You learn how to talk luxury, you learn different techniques on how to sell it. But guys, this is nothing different with me and you sitting down for 20 minutes and sharing with you the top 3 tips that they teach in all those classes. There's nothing special that you need to do or say. It's simple. That's why I guess my point is they make it seem complex and that it's a big deal getting these certifications. They're not a big deal. And you can sell homes without having the designation at all. And we've proven it. Everyone that we know has proven it. Most of the people who do luxury don't even have any designations because they know they don't need it. It's about relationships and what you can provide one-on-one and how you speak to people and how clearly you communicate your value and what you can do for them.
Yeah. And so the reason I wanted to bring that up is we freely give it away. We have everything you need to be a luxury agent, to be successful in that market if you want to increase your price point. So if you're listening and you're thinking like, oh, I've never done this, how do I do it? We can give it away. It's not a problem.
We'll help you take down that beast. I mean, it's really not complicated, guys. It's an easy conversation. We help a lot of our agents go and attack their, to go get some business.
The average price point at Momentum has gone from what to what and what period of time?
Yeah, I mean, this is a funny point, Bruce, because it's gone up from 250 to 300, but so has the general market. So I'm not even sure we can pat ourselves on the back and be like, yeah, we told everybody to go for a higher price point. But I would imagine that, most of our agents will start moving up to the 350 to 450 price point on average moving forward as the market continues to consolidate and inventory gets tighter in those lower price ranges. What's most important is that our agents are netting more money than ever. I just got back from a lunch with somebody who has just as much pending this year already than what they did all of last year. They have income that's coming in and the conversation is, now that my debt's paid off, what do I do? And that is exactly right. I mean, it's success story after success story. Bruce, this is not a joke anymore. When we opened up, everyone was like, Momentum's a joke. They don't understand. Their numbers don't make sense. They're full of it. They're going to fail. They're already failing. People are leaving. No one has left the company. It's just the story is insane. And now we have so much validity that people are starting to be like, okay, now I see enough top producers who are sharing huge wins where we are valid and we can prove it. And we have so many success stories that if you want to talk to any of the agents, don't even talk to me and Bruce. Talk to the agents who are having success and learn from them. You can call anybody on the roster. It's on our website and have a conversation with them. And that's just the way it is. We're really, really grateful to be part of these business owners' journeys together.
Yeah. And for full transparency, the phone numbers are listed under every agent on the website too. Just click and call. That's all you have to do. And I had someone recently join us who said they went to the website and just randomly picked someone and asked them how they like Momentum, which is genius. I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell people to do that. Just call anyone. Just go to the website. That's a great idea. But yeah, the success story that just came out, and we won't share, who it is obviously, but that was incredible. Like tear jerker, incredible, like in such a short period of time, paying off the amount of debt that this individual did. It's incredible. And that's exactly why we are doing this.
Yeah. And she said it was from one conversation. And I mean, that's how impactful these conversations are. People don't have access to these conversations. That's what we're all about. We're here to create a different conversation that is well above and beyond what the agent has been getting, because there's a leadership vacuum, and agents need somebody to show them how to do it specifically and coach them through. And you basically get that for free. Yeah. At Momentum just by signing up. I mean, you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to some coaching program to get access to somebody who may or may not have actually done anything.
That's the thing, because you're going to pay all this money, but are they valid too? That's the other thing. And you have to independently verify that.
Most of them aren't. So yeah, you have to really dig. There's a lot of people out there that are career coaches that have never actually produced success themselves. I'd be very careful of that. I would definitely rather prefer to have somebody who has become number one or close to it than learn from somebody that hasn't had any level of success in their life.
Yeah. And this circles back to the beginning of the conversation of getting in a different conversation. And I guess the one barrier to me, people don't want to change the conversation they're in until they have to. So how do we push people into that? Not push against their will, but what's going to knock people loose to be open to other and bigger ideas?
They have to be ready for it, Bruce. I mean, most people are comfortable. Most people don't want change. People don't want to grow. Most of the time, Bruce, they don't even know that there's something different out there. So how could they feel that they could be knocked loose? They're constantly hearing smoke and mirrors. We're the magic problem solver for this or that. So we're just another one of those voices until we create an environment where everyone has such massive success that it speaks for itself and the word gets out, which it has. And that's why we have 100 Momentum agents that are going to be a top 10 brokerage within a year and a half, which is absolutely unheard of. I'm so proud of our agents. And they're netting profit. They're going to continue to go out there and take market share. And the story is just going to get out. It's going to happen organically. And we're still having 3 or 4 people reach out to us per day who want to see what we're all about. So if you're one of those people, just come to one of the virtual events, message me or Bruce, message Brittany, get in touch. We're here to connect. Even if you don't join us, we'd love to just learn about you, who you are, your business, where you want to go. We have other connections outside of real estate that we can put you in touch with. Our goal as business owners and being who we are is to simply get you from point A to point B, whether that's with us or not with us, or if it's with somebody else who we know in our network, we want to help you get there.
Yep. And we'll provide every tool that we can to get you there. And if we don't have it, we'll find it. That's a great conversation, man. Until next time, that's a wrap on the latest Move with Momentum podcast.